All right, Shalom Israel. First and foremost, as always, I would like to give all praises, honor, glory, respect, and blessings to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakaha, Kwadash. Salutations to the Lord's elect on the four corners of the earth, pushing his truth and sincerity while patiently waiting for Yahweh Shai's return, and double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, which have taught us everything we know through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. And welcome to another series of global worldwide news events, linking what is happening around the world to what is written in the volume of the book, to show you that everything that is written in the volume of the book is faithful and true, and that we are indeed living in the last days, according to 2nd Ezra, the 6th chapter. For Esau, the self-proclaimed white man, will be the end of the world, meaning that the end of a wicked rulership upon the face of the earth would end with the Edomites, which will be the self-proclaimed white man, which starts with the Rothschilds or the Rockefellers, trickling down to the rest of their nation of people. Okay, hey, we're almost out of here, man. Um, a lot of things heating up over there in the Middle East. Without further ado, I'm gonna get right into it.
Because we don't have any.
The Small Hats is framing Iran as a threat to cities across Europe, warning missiles could reach London, Paris, and Berlin.
Hostility against the United States people or European regional problem. It is not our problem. It is a global one. You can see the range of the Iranian ballistic missiles today. They can reach Paris. It reaches London, Athens, Copenhagen, Riga. It reaches deep into Europe, 4,000 kilometers, double the range they claimed. And if it has doubled once, it can double again, from 4,000 to 8,000 kilometers. That would make it capable of striking the heart of the US.
I've been warning all the time. They have
And these demons, they're going to continue to play the victim. They're going to they're going to continue to to try to get the world on their side. But you see, I have news for you. The world is waking up to you imposters, your schemes, and all of your hurtful and wrongdoings. Let's get that in Isaiah 25. Okay, and then we're gonna hit Central F and we're gonna type in covering just to find it quickly. Okay, so let's exit out this. Isaiah chapter 25, verse 7. And this is what it says. And he will destroy in this mountain the face of the covering cast over all people, and the veil that is spread over all nations. And what is the veil that have been spread over all nations? The veil is that these people right here that you see on my screen, right? The veil is that these people are basically God's people. You know, they fear the Most High. Know that they're innocent. They can't do any wrong. If they're at war with a country, the country that they're going to war with were the ones who started it in the first place, and this, that, fourth, and the others, and basically that veil is being lifted over the nations of the earth, and now the people of the nations of the earth is beginning to wake up to who the number one problem is upon the face of the whole earth. And a matter of fact, what I would like to do is let's look up that word for veil. The Hebrew word for veil is masakah. Masakah. So that would be Masachah. Massacre. Okay. Massacre, as you see right there. So the Hebrew word for veil, let's see. A pouring, right? A libation. Oh yeah. Okay. Molten metal, cast image. And the image, okay, the image that these people casted over the whole earth is that, they're innocent, they don't lie, they if they're at war with the country started it with them first, they're God's children, they're God-fearing people. This is the image that they have given the nations of the whole earth. They have given the nations a false image, a false depiction of themselves. And now that the veil is being lifted, the nations that are looking at these people right here are beginning to see the horns sticking out of their heads. They see the fangs in their mouth, you know, they see the evil looks on their face. And the other nations that are round about these people, these small hats, they're coming to the conclusion, right, that these people here are no more than a bunch of devils. They're a bunch of fire starters. They don't do nothing but start trouble, cause wars, cause chaos. So the nations are seeing these people for what they really are. Okay, the nations are seeing these people for what they really are. So this image that they have presented to the world is being lifted off of the nations, and the nations are seeing these people as no more than evil, destructful people. Okay, see, drink offering. Okay, a libation with covenant sacrifice, molten metal, molten image, molten gods, web. Okay, covering. Yeah, a covering, right? Uh, see, it says woven stuff. So, I mean, that's pretty much it. So the Lord is lifting the veil of these small hats from the eyes of all the other people. Okay.
Now the capacity to reach deep into Europe. They already have fired on a European country, Cyprus. They are putting everyone in their sights.
This can now happen in Rome, in Vienna, in Berlin, in Paris. The only question is whether or not the Iranian regime will push the button. And we know the Iranian regime, and we know that they already pushed it.
Hold on, let's read that again. Hold on a second. Bear with me for one moment. We're going to rewind it like, let's see.
We know the Iranian regime, and we know that they already pushed it.
Okay, and what do we see right here? Excuse me. What do we see right here? The small hats and the United States attacked Iran first in February 2026 and in June 2025 during ongoing negotiations. So while negotiations were going on, right, they attacked Iran. And the Lord warned you people about these Edomites. Let's go to the book of Psalms real quick, 55 verse 20. Okay? Because see, there's a reason why when you read Sirach chapter 12, verse 10, and there's a reason why the Lord said, never trust thine enemies. For like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Psalms 55, verse 20, he hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him, right? Because usually when there's when there's an ongoing talks of negotiations for peace, right? That's an example of peace in the midst of trying to be established right there. But no, these Edomites do not want peace. They want war, right? He have broken his covenant. How do you break a covenant? By basically attacking a nation, the people that you are negotiating peace talks with. And it's the exact same thing that happened to the so-called North American Indians. Okay, when the Edomites came over here, when they was calling themselves conquistadors, Spaniards, English, Dutch mercenaries, right? When they came over here, okay, they came over here bowing, crouching humbly as a lion. You know, they came over here talking about peace, peace. You know, we come in peace. They pretended like they wanted to live peaceably amongst the so-called North American Indians. But what happened? They ended up stabbing the so-called North American Indians in the back. They stabbed them in the back, right? They gave them blankets with smallpox, plagued the so-called North American Indians with scarlatina, typhoid, typhus, chickenpox, smallpox, lice, and ultimately, a lot of the so-called North American, a lot of these so-called North American Indians ended up dying from what? They ended up dying from these diseases, all because they put their trust in these Edomites who was calling themselves conquistadors and Spaniards and English Dutch mercenaries. They trusted these Edomites and they paid the price. They ended up they ended up suffering from a mass genocide from these different diseases in which they were plagued by from the Spaniards. So like the Holy Scriptures say, right? Who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent or such as go nigh wild beasts? Ain't nobody going to pity you, man. Okay? Who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent? The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, right? Peace talks, negotiations, right? But war was in his heart. But war was in his heart, right? His words were softer than soft oil, yet were they drawn swords. And what do we see right here? The small hats and the United States of America attacked Iran first in February 2026 and in June 2025 during ongoing negotiations, which were supposed to be peace talks, right? So these attacks have been ongoing during negotiations. So in the midst of negotiations, what have Iranians witnessed? Ongoing attacks upon their soils, especially by the small hats. Small hat strikes have hit several countries in recent months, including Gaza, Lebanon, Syria, and Yemen.
Everywhere. Iran has never given.
And it's not the first time that these imposters in the land of Israel has tried to convince the world about the threat from Iran. So it's not even the first time.
Up its quest for nuclear weapons and the missiles to deliver them.
So you see, the Lord has lifted the veil which these Edomites have casted over the nations of the world. The Lord has lifted the veil off of these other nations, and now the world is seeing these Edomites for what they really are. Warnings about Iran's nuclear threat have been repeated for decades, and now the nations are sick and tired of the lies of you damn Edomites.
Nuclear weapons. Nuclear weapons. Nuclear weapons. Atomic bombs. Israel scrupulously abides by its commitments to the United States.
As far back as 1992, Netanyahu said Iran was 3 to 5 years from a nuclear bomb.
Regarding weapons transfers.
In 2012, he told the UN General Assembly Iran could be just months away and this was back in 1992, right? When he said this. So apparently in 1997, you see,
And the missiles to deliver them. Another 55,000 files. Nuclear weapons. Nuclear weapons. Nuclear weapons. Atomic bombs. Israel scrupulously abides by its
atomic
commitments
bombs
to
as far as back as 3 to 5 years. So apparently in 1997, right? In 1997, Iran was supposed to have nuclear bombs. So what happened in 2012?
the United States regarding weapons transfers.
What happened in 2012, right? This is what 2012 would be 20 years later after 1990, after the statement he made in 1992. 20 years later, right? He told the UN General Assembly Iran could just be months away from a nuclear bomb.
By next spring, at most, by next summer, at current enrichment rates, they will have finished the medium enrichment and move on to the final stage. From there, it's only a few months, possibly a few weeks, before they get enough.
Nobody is listening to the lies of these damn Edomites anymore, man. People are fed up. People are fed up, man.
Enriched uranium for the first bomb.
And no, the nations are not with it. And ultimately, this goes back to Matthew's the 12th chapter, right? When Yahushua said, "If Satan be divided against himself, he is brought to desolation," and that's what we're seeing right now. Because Russia is not for it, NATO is not really for it, you know. Plus, NATO knows more than the U.S. and anyone else that Iran is capable of striking cities within their country. You see, as those nations continue to feel the economic impact of a war started by the small hats and its ally, the United States, right? You see, and it's all boiling down to who the main cause of the problem is. And everyone is saying that it's the United States and those imposters in the land of Israel, calling themselves JEWISH, and they're not. They are Edomites. They are not JEWISH. Okay, they are Edomites. And Edomites have always been about war and violence. Okay? What's that scripture? Ye have waved your hands of violence in the earth. Let me see if I can find that real quick. Let's go to Google. Let's see, KJV, and let's type in ye have ye have waved your hands, your hand of violence in the earth. Let's see what pops up here. Yeah, let me see. I think. Oh, here it is. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. Psalms 58 verse 2. Okay. Psalms 58 verse 2. Okay. And this is King David speaking concerning the Edomites. And a matter of fact, yeah, let's get that. let's get let's get verse 1. The book of Psalms 58 verse 1. To the chief musician Alteshith Michtam of David, do ye indeed speak righteousness, O congregation? Do ye judge uprightly, O ye sons of men? And this is a message to the Edomites, who is currently ruling the world in wickedness. Verse 2, yea, in heart ye do, yea, in heart ye work wickedness. Meaning what? Like it tells you in Micah 2 verse 1, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hands, right? So in heart, meaning these Edomites, especially these Edomites, which will be the self-proclaimed white man, right? Starting with the so-called elites who call themselves Rothschilds or Rockefellers, trickling down to the rest of their nation of people, okay? They meditate upon wickedness. That's what it means to work. Because when you go to the word heart, it goes back to the Hebrew word lav, which means your mind. So in their mind, they work wickedness, meaning what? They meditate upon wickedness and then they execute it because it is in the power of their hands. Ye weigh the violence of your hands. Ye weigh the violence of your hands in the earth. You see that? They weigh the violence of their hands in the earth. Okay. So there you go, man. And you want to know how they weigh the violence of their hands in the earth? They do it by waging war on these other nations. As we read right here, right, as those nations continue to feel the economic impact of a war started by the Amalekites, calling themselves Jewish, and they're not. They are Amalekites, which ultimately makes them Edomites, right? And is allied the U.S., which is also ran and controlled by Edomites. This is how they weigh the violence of their hands in the earth.
Because we don't have any hostility.
So with that, I'm going to say Shalom is on to the next one.